Yo, what's going on? Turn up is back official right now. And we got modern day head coach in here with us with YSC, the show number 33. Right here, we're live right now. We got Coach John Joyner. How you doing out there, Coach?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Coach Joyner. Now, Coach Joyner, you guys got some stuff brew-hoo-hooing over there at Modern Day, as you always have. Coach Joyner, he has coached some of the best talent, most talented kids in San Diego, now playing big time. You got one right now, CJ Verdell, up there at Oregon, man. How was it coaching a kid that might be up for the Heisman this year?
It was pretty easy. He made me look pretty good for a lot of years. But CJ. The thing about CJ is, obviously all the accolades that he's done and all the records he's setting and the things he's doing. But he's a better man. He's a better person. He's one of the best young men. Comes from one of the best families. He's just a tremendous kid. So watching him have this success as a man is just a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, that's always good, man. It's always good to hear that players are continuing to grow and continuing to, elevate themselves as they go through the rankings. San Diego is known for putting out, really good athletes and stuff like that. So it's always good to have some. Now, do you have a couple more guys, coach, that you guys have coached that are playing on the next level now?
Yeah, we have. I think we have 16 guys currently playing college football all across the country. Kyle Moses is playing at UNLV. Quentin Frazier is playing at Hawaii. Chris Jones and Jaden Emberton are at Seton Hill. Eli Shelton's at Cal Poly. We got guys kind of all over the place. I think we have guys playing in 7 different states, so all over the country. We're really proud of all those guys.
Now that's big, man. Now, right now, we have been caught up in probably the weirdest time. I'm 38, man, and this is probably the weirdest time I've experienced in my 38 years of living. We have COVID-19 that pretty much just shut down, the whole country for a couple months. And then,
Mm-hmm.
right after then, now we're having, pretty much a revolt of what we've known as the law enforcement system. Coach, we're going to ask you a couple questions about both of those.
Sure.
Right now, what is your team doing during COVID to keep active, and what have they been doing this whole time, to kind of keep your guys together in this time, not knowing if football season is going to start this year? Will.
Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of things, just try to keep them, socially and emotionally invested, checking on them. But starting May 1st, we began team Zoom meetings. We've been breaking down the
Okay.
Zoom meetings by position. The position coaches run the meetings. Sometimes we have complete offensive meetings, and then sometimes we break down by position. Same thing on the defensive side of the ball. We've just been basically trying to check in with them. So every day, a different position has a meeting, installing the offense, installing the defense, installing special teams, just like we would if we were on the field. But then also checking on them emotionally, making sure they're doing okay. This is a strange time for us. I'm 38 too, just like you.
Yeah.
Imagine being 16 and 17, how confusing this could be. So we just want to check on them, make sure they're doing okay, both physically and mentally. And then our strength coach, Rakim Cox, who was a San Diego High School football legend at San Diego High, went on to play at Villanova with the Carolina Panthers. He's our strength coach. So he's been doing workouts over Zoom and sending them to our guys and doing things like that to make sure they're staying in shape.
Yeah, man. I've followed the program here within the past couple of years. I had a family member that was actually on the team, and that's Jonathan Miller, who was a
Yeah,
cornerback for
absolutely.
you, and that's one of my older cousins' sons, and so I call them my nephews and everything else like that. Man, he comes from a really good home, and
Great.
just out here trying to make it right now. Just trying to make it right now. So shout outs to
Yeah.
him, man. I want to give him a big shout out right now. You know, tell him to keep pushing, keep doing your thing, man. You're going to be successful out of it.
Yeah, very,
Um,
very proud of him. He was great. I mean, he was fantastic for us. Even coach his older brother, and I know he's going to keep playing at Mesa College. And we're just super proud of Jonathan. He's a phenomenal, phenomenal young man.
Yeah, man, and it's so right now, you guys with everything going on with the reinstruction of law enforcement, a lot of people in town right now are talking, and some coaches are speaking up, some coaches are not. And where do you feel when you see all this going on, and it's the young people who are leading this? I watched Dave Chappelle's special the other night. Shout out Dave Chappelle. I watched his
Yeah.
special the other night, and he had me cracking up. But he said, "Yeah, I'm in the back seat on this one." You know what I mean? I'm in the back seat. I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and drive. You're driving just fine. So,
Right. Right. Yeah, no, we met with our team kind of that Sunday. So it was just a couple days after the marches began. And so we met as a team and as a staff. And we just basically had an open dialogue with our players. We let them, we started off the conversation by saying, all emotions are accepted here. You could be angry, you
yeah,
could be upset, you could be sad, you could whatever it is. There's no right or wrong in this room. We're in this together. And then a lot of our assistant coaches spoke up, talked about personal things. I even have an assistant coach who's in law enforcement. He spoke about from his perspective and everything that he's going through as a police officer and in law enforcement, having to deal with this. And so it was just a really healthy moment. And I just wanted our guys to know that they're not alone in whatever they're feeling. All our coaches put their cell phones in the chat. If any player needed to talk or reach out or yell, scream, cry, whatever they wanted, we were going to be there for them. And so through this, I do feel that it's our role to help nurture these young people and what they're dealing
mhm.
with, but also be sometimes a vessel just to listen. Sometimes they need to just talk, and I wanted to be there for them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely one of those times where everybody is having to recheck and make sure their emotions are straight, and get the kids' emotions right about everything, because I mean you never know. But the thing about it is to try to continue to stay positive, and that's what we try to do here at the Youth Sports Center. I want to try to get around and interview the coaches, and just ask them from their point of view, how they feel, how the coaches feel while dealing with this and with their players and stuff like that. I know it's just very trying times. But what we're going to do right now, coach, we're going to go to our first commercial break right now, and then we are going to talk about the modern day crusaders, and we're going to talk about some of those star athletes that you guys have flying around there that I've been following since they were kids. We'll be right back.
I'm gonna tell you guys this. I'm not more proud or less proud than I was this morning. It's the same. I absolutely am grateful to you for every second we spent. By far, you brought me back. I absolutely adore this football team. And it started with the seniors that we had, those 14 seniors. You guys are the most unselfish group of guys I've coached in 15 years. I love you guys so much, and you have no idea how much I love you. You set the bar for this program.
Hey, good luck. Keep it going. I'm trying to see if the coach is still with us.
I love you. When I say only the family, I mean it. I'm so proud of you guys. Let's hook up. Hail Mary.
Once again, for modern day athletes, the sportsmanship.
Hello, here we go. We're back. We got you there, Coach.
Sorry,
You back with us?
I apologize about that.
There you go. All right, yeah, no problem, no problem. Back on. So, Coach, you guys have some extremely talented kids that I'm very, very, very excited to see play on your team coming up here the next year. And if I miss anybody, please go ahead and elaborate on kids that I have missed. I have had my eyes on a couple players that you guys have had since they were young. Chris Snyder, the
Yeah,
outstanding wide receiver DB, the freshman last year, who came in and was able to get good play. The kid is a monster athlete, runs great routes, great speed, and he's a strong guy. And then Oh man, this guy gives me chill bumps right now just thinking about what he did in youth football. Larry Edwards the third. You guys call him Trey. I call
yeah,
him Larry Edwards the third. And I've been calling him that since he was 8, 9 years old, man. And he's been dominated youth football all growing up. This kid has grown into a monstrosity. I believe he's around what, 230 now? And he's about 6'2", and he's now being
yep.
called one of the top linebackers in the country, top recruited linebackers in the country. Talk a little bit, man, about those two guys for me, please, and then elaborate on some of the other players that you think might break out this year and help Mater Dei on their way to CIF if possible.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Snyder is he's a different kind of kid for his age.
Mm-hmm.
He's so intense. I've rarely been around a kid who loves playing football that much. He comes every single day to practice, hungry, ready, really just works as hard as any guy I've ever had for a freshman, but for any level. It's really important to him, and he's a tremendous athlete. So when you put the God-given skills that he has with the work ethic, the sky's the limit. And I think he's one of the biggest recruits his age in San Diego. There's every Pac-12 school already is recruiting him, and Big 12
Ugh.
schools, and everybody. He's going to be like Trey, who's already a national recruit. And I think Trey Edwards has been the best player in San Diego since he was probably 9 years old. But the thing I love
Yeah.
most about Trey, he is the most humble, hardworking, great teammate, great young man. Teachers love him. His teammates love him. He's just a tremendous person. And then to be that guy plus just be the best player his age is pretty special. And so those guys are great. That age group, that class is pretty special. There's a couple of other kids their age that are going to be some pretty big time names. We have a running back named Nico Mosley, a quarterback Dominic Nankeel. We have
Oh, hold on,
offensive tackle.
hold on, hold on, wait.
We have
Hold on. Let
guys.
me get back in my seat. Let me get back in my seat real quick. That Nico Mosley kid, now let me tell you. See, I didn't even jump on him
Yeah,
yet. You know what I'm saying? That Nico Mosley
yeah.
came with us. We called ourselves Heisman City, and we went to Ohio, and we took about 22 kids, 23 kids, and we went to Ohio and played in the snow in December, and Nico Mosley was a huge part of that team. And we ended up placing second in the Hall of Fame National Championship. Nico's
Wow.
Mosley's name is forever enshrined into the Hall of Fame. If you ever go to the
Yeah,
Hall of Fame, Nico Mosley's name is already in the Hall of Fame. And they're under Heisman City. So shouts out Nico and the Mosley family. We had a great
yeah.
time.
Great.
A great
Yeah,
kid.
great fan.
Great kid. And a hell of
Yeah.
a baseball player. Him and Trey both. Oh, that modern day baseball team. Oh, coach, you're going to have to keep those guys off. You're going to have to keep those baseball coaches off your kids.
Baseball, Nico, Trey, Saraz Buncombe is a great baseball player. It's a good time to be on Modern Day. We have a lot of great kids, and they're phenomenal athletes, but they're great students. They're great kids. They're great citizens. We're very excited about all of them.
Now, with everything that you've been hearing, it's been a crazy offseason. Whether these guys are going to play football or not this year, the transfer the transfer meter has continued to spin. Have you guys located or brought in any new players that you think might instantly come in and give Mater Dei that punch?
We might have a few. I mean, I think there's always kids entering the school until they're fully registered and with us. I kind of hesitate to say anything about them just because they're not necessarily all the way into school and stuff like that. But I think it's like anything else. It's kind of part of high school sports now, but just high school in general. Kids are moving. Kids are leaving schools for whatever reasons. I would say, probably a small number of guys, but we do have some guys that are probably coming in this year. Yeah.
Coach is smart. Coach said, "Hold on, man. You're
Right.
not
You
going
gotta
to
give me
get
on
me
that
to
one.
tell all my transfers, Reed. You're not going to get me to tell all my good stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? He looks at
I'm sure
Lincoln
it'll
and
be
those
on
guys in
Twitter
San Diego High over
later.
there. Yeah,
What's
it'll be
that?
on Twitter, huh? You said,
Right.
I said, while
Right.
Lincoln and Helix and San Diego High and Morris, those guys are collecting them all right now. You guys are like, hold up,
Yeah.
we got a little something in my pocket here, Reed. I ain't gonna tell nobody about it. You know what I mean? But hey, man, that's a good way to
Yeah.
go. Yo, look, we got more questions for Coach coming up here. We're gonna go to another commercial break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. YSC the show. Number 33.
Again, sometimes I think we enjoy that part of it. We enjoy kind of being the underdog or playing the smaller role. We talk about that role a lot with the guys, and we talk about being predators and not to prey, and that's kind of the mentality I think we play with. Even just playing in a game like that was important for us. But when we want every game we play, no matter who we're playing, we kind of have confidence that we can go out there and compete. But I think hopefully it gives a little credibility to what we're doing here because they're a phenomenal program and we have a ton of respect for what they do. I'll tell you right now, these kids have so much confidence in themselves. They've won a lot of games since they've been here, but yeah, our guys don't flinch. Even when we went up to LA, we played a school that got all this publicity and all these kids going to all these Division I places. They don't flinch. They don't blink. They have a lot of confidence in themselves, and so they play hard. We use a motto here. We tell them all the time: it's not hard to play hard. Sometimes you're not the most talented or the size, but if you play hard, good things will happen.
Lincoln coming in all business on the way in after their first loss of the season. We pick it up in the first quarter. Mater Dei's Trevor Appleman, under pressure, throws it up to Barkins, who makes the acrobatic catch. This leads to a 1-yard score, 7-0 Crusaders. Second quarter, Appleman drops a dime to Damon King right here for the 62-yard touchdown. That increases the lead, 16-0 Crusaders. Say in the second quarter, Lincoln's Tyler Jensen's first pass of the game to Keyshawn Smith. 55-yard score, 16-7 Crusaders. Aiden Calvert in the second quarter, this is the man in the South Bay, goes 88 yards untouched for the score, increases the lead, upset alert, 23-7 Crusaders. Third quarter, Lincoln's transfer, Xavier Hamlet with his first Hornet touchdown, cuts in the deficit, 23-14. Fourth quarter, Jensen finds Benjamin O'Brien, who makes the nice behind-the-back shoulder, cuts a deficit to 2, but unfortunately Lincoln gives it right back, 28-28. With 1:33 remaining, the great scoop by De Los Reyes, Jorge Aguilar, 28-yard field goal.
And we are back. Coach, Mater Dei, what division will you guys be playing in this year?
We're Division III.
Oh, you guys will be in Division 3. Okay. All right. Well, they moved you. Well, they just moved you. I thought you guys were Division 2 last year.
We were Division II the year before. Last year we were Division III. And this upcoming year we're
Okay.
going to be Division.
Okay. Division 3. So who does it look like that's going to be really good competition for you guys this year if we get to playing?
Yeah, I don't know. Right now it's kind of tough. I think there's some really good teams. I think Mount Carmel's very talented. I hear Ramona's very talented. There's going to be. It's so hard right now to say, but I think there's going to be some really good competition. Division II and Division III the last couple of years have been very deep. So once we get going and once we start playing about week 7 or 8, you start to look and go, okay, you see who the contenders are and who's real and everything like that.
Now coming in and you guys are going to be a strong competitor at Division III, because San Diego High, we were there at Division III last year, and we definitely had the opportunity to play later. Even though we were real young, this year we're going to come back here a little bit stronger, but we will be in Division II. So you guys dodged that bullet, okay? But no, at the end of the day, I mean, for the players that you guys got, I mean, I see you guys being able to make a really strong run at that in Division III. Now, they've had a lot of people come on, Coach, and a lot of people have been talking. A lot of people have been speculating. With the COVID-19, everybody thinks they're a doctor now.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, everybody's got a doctorate, and they know virus 101. But what I wanted to ask you is, I know there's supposed to be a meeting coming up here on July 20th, and they're supposed to be making a decision about the season. Do you have you heard any word, or do you have any insight on what you think might happen coming up here on July 20th?
No, I wish I did. I wish I had some insight for you. The first thing we're doing is just kind of seeing what we can control at Modern Day. And so we're trying to get where we can get our guys back on campus and work out. We've set it up starting this Monday where our guys will be working out with our strength coach over Zoom, because we're not, allowed on campus yet. But we're really preparing as a staff like everything's the same. Like we're going to start, first day of camp come August 1st and be ready for practice and everything like that, because really that's all we can control. I can't control anything else. Like you said, I'm not a doctor, but we just want to make every precaution to keep our players safe, but also be prepared that when they say, hey, football's on, we're ready to go right then and there and go from, and be ready to practice.
Now you guys got that. I almost forgot about him, but you guys got that Appleman guy at quarterback. Now I remember this guy.
Yeah, man.
He was a thin mint back in the day. He was a thin mint, and now these kids that were thin mints playing quarterback, oh, now they're 6'4", 6'5". How big is Appleman now, man?
He's 6'6", and he says he's 212, but I make fun of him all the time. I tell him, you're probably 180, little string bean, but he's really getting bigger. He's really matured, and he's such a phenomenal kid, man. He and I talk a lot. We have a great relationship, and he's a very special young man.
Oh yeah, man. It's a lot of special stuff going on over there, man. You guys got some special sauce that's going over there at Modern Day. Now we're gonna get into it. We're gonna go to one more commercial break, and then we are gonna get into, Coach, the difference between going to a private school or staying home. We'll be right back. Youth Sports Center, YSC The Show. Greatness allowed. 33. All right, we are back right now, and we have the head coach for Modern Day High School in San Diego. Now, if you guys did not know, Modern Day was not Modern Day. It used to be called, what was it called again, Coach? It was
Marian Catholic.
Marian Catholic. Marian Catholic. So some of you old school folks back there, you're probably going, Modern Day? When did San Diego get a Modern Day? They used to be Marian Catholic, and they were always tough. Okay, and they're trying to bring that back, bring that noise back this year, Coach. A lot of talk this year about kids staying home and going to schools where they were normally where they grew up at, where their families, were staples. A couple of years maybe back, maybe almost about like 10 years back, it became cool to go around and find a private school to go to and things like that. Now you got a lot of kids, it's like switching back up. How hard is it, when you're talking to parents and you're telling them private over staying home?
Yeah, no, I think we treat each individual family different. We don't have one kind of sales pitch we give to everybody. You know, it's kind of whatever a family is looking for, whatever they think fits best their child. I don't necessarily, when I'm dealing with a family, I don't necessarily talk about any other schools other than Modern Day. What Modern Day provides socially, what Modern Day provides academically, what Modern Day provides with security, and then the opportunities they can have playing multiple sport, whether it's football, baseball, like you mentioned. I think 72% of my football players play more than one sport, which is pretty high compared to other places. And so, you know, whether a family's choosing between two different private schools or a private school and public school, really, I hope they're just deciding what's the best place for their son or daughter for the next 4 years. If that happens to be Modern Day, that's awesome. I know what we are. I know what we provide, and we're there for any family that wants to take advantage of that.
Yeah, now you were referred to me. I got a lot of people, because when you win or when you have, a lot going on as a football coach, you got the people that love you and then you got your haters. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have the people that love you and you're going to have your haters. You know what I'm saying? You have a very good supporter by a man named, there's Kellen Edwards, there's Larry Edwards, senior or junior, and then there is Clark Moses, who is probably one of the most highly touted youth football coaches in the history of San Diego SDYFC. Talk about, because Clark is the one who called. I put up an ask, said, who should we interview next? Clark said, go ahead and get Modern Day's coach in there. Talk a little bit about Clark Moses and your relationship with one of the top youth coaches in town, and how you guys are able to work together.
Yeah, just a phenomenal man. I met Clark when he was coaching the Eastlake Panthers. I'd met him. He was coaching his son. His son Kyle played for me. Now is just graduated from UNLV. Kyle is one of my favorite guys of all time. His wife Kenya, an amazing. She was a teen mom for us for 2 years. They're just the Moses family's just amazing people. And Clark and I just built a relationship. If you know anything about Clark, he's probably the most honest, most humble. He's somebody that's never looking for the spotlight or anything like that. He coaches for the right reasons. He's all about the kids. Every kid he's ever told me about, or any kid that I've ever had that played for him, has always had respect. Always knew the game of football, was well coached. Clark's just a phenomenal man. He happens to be a great football coach too, but he's a great
Mm-hmm.
father. Has been a great role model. I'm lucky to call him a friend. He's a great man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Clark has always been solid with me. Yeah, man. Those guys, man, they're not big into the light, man. Let you go ahead and you can tell. I hope he's watching right now, Larry Edwards, because you did not come on to my show. I'm going to bring my show to you. I'm going to have to follow you around school one day, young man, and I'm going to have to get that interview. Larry Edwards, since he was a kid, has not been one of the ones who liked to shine, like the bright light. He was always very, very humble kid, but very well spoken and short of words. I used to tell all the kids all the time, when the other kids would be like, "Oh man, we're gonna beat Eastlake this year, man. We're gonna beat Eastlake this year." I was like, "I don't know, man. Larry's not hanging out with you guys. He's not going to the malls with you guys." I said, "This
Yeah.
guy really is serious about trying to beat you guys every year. His competitive nature is that just of another breed, and I think it
Yeah, it's
comes
off
from
the
good
charts.
coaching like that." Yeah.
Yeah, it's off the charts, and it really comes from home. He's
Hmm.
got an amazing home life where they keep him humble, and they're making him
Yeah.
work hard. His father, they like education is so important to that family, but they support Trey, they support him, they make sure he has everything he needs, but they also make him earn everything. And so when you meet Trey, he's such a genuine young man. He's so kind. Um, but then when the football lights come on, man, there's a switch inside that boy, and he becomes, an absolute killer. But I think the humbleness and that kindness and that what makes him such a great teammate starts at home for sure.
Now, Coach, a big topic in on social media now is coaches being able to get kids into college, and being able to get kids getting them offers and things like that. How do you keep good relationships with colleges to get your kids to the next level?
It helps to have great kids. So, one thing I do is we're going to promote our players at all times. And so we sit down. One thing I think we do well, I don't know about other coaches, one thing we do well is we try to have a partnership with the parents. So I sit down with families of players who are being recruited, and we talk about recruitment, and we talk about what your core GPA is, and we talk about the NCAA sliding scale and clearinghouse, and we have an honest conversation about that. And so when college coaches come by, I'm able to give that information. I'm able to give our players transcripts, and hopefully college coaches know when they come to Modern Day, they're going to find phenomenal young men, phenomenal athletes, great students, and kids who can go in their program and aren't going to get in trouble, not going to be issue room. But it's important for us to make sure that whether it's through football or through education, that all of our players are going to go off to the best four-year university possible, and really try to better their life through education. If football is a part of that, well then God bless. That's even a better opportunity to save their family some money.
Now, you you are right now in the process, I believe, of having, you're coaching some of the most, I mean, I tell everybody the class of 2023 might be the most athletic class to ever come out of San Diego sports. Now, you guys are going to hear me say this over and over again as I interview different coaches. I'm trying to get Terry Tucker over on here from San Ysidro because he's got Mikey Williams in there. You know, what do you think about the hype now in social media and what it's done? You got a kid like Mikey Williams who has over 2 million followers on Instagram, and and what it does for the other kids, and as far as them marketing themselves and stuff. I mean, what do you think about social media?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a great tool. I think we have to educate our kids on how to use it. We sit kids and teach them about Twitter. We make sure that their headers are right, that they have their personal information, their huddle account, and everything like that. I think it's a great for kids to help themselves get recruited, and coaches should be helping them and teaching them and coach through that process. Um, I couldn't imagine being 16, 17 years old and having that microscope on me. I was kind of a guy that would have done something that probably, wouldn't have been the best thing in the world. But,
Yeah.
I don't know Mikey Williams, but from what I understand, he also has great life, great role models who, like Coach Tucker, are going to make sure he's always kind of doing the right thing. And I've heard really good things. I mean, obviously as a player, the kid's phenomenal, but I've heard really good things about him as a person too. When I was that age, I had 2 followers. Holy cow! I would have been a little bit of a that dangerous thing. But
You'd have been all ham. I tell people all the time, if you had social media when I was a kid, it would have been all ham, egg, and cheese sandwich. 'Cause
yeah,
it
no,
would have
I
been a show.
that distraction at 16. That's for sure.
Yeah, that is correct. So, Coach, do you have anything else to say? I'm gonna finish it up with it like I normally do. But do you have anything else to say about modern day? Maybe you want to holler at future kids who want to come to your program, or maybe some parents who might be on the fence and might want to hear a little bit about what you guys offer over there at modern day.
Yeah, I would just say, we're an open book. Anytime you want to come to practice, anytime you want to take a tour of school, anytime you want to come to a game, come check us out. I'm not big into the pressure game. I'm not going to be sweating people and those kinds of things. I believe our school and our school community speaks for itself. Anybody who ever wants to learn more about modern day is department, so they can send me an email and come take a tour and really learn about the community because it's a really special place. I've been there 13 years and I'm not going anywhere. My daughter is in the 4th grade and she goes there. It's just a great family environment. So there's a lot of amazing options in San Diego. If you're ever interested in coming to see Modern Day, just let me know.
Oh yeah, man. We're trying to get around. That's why we're doing this. We're touching base with everybody, man. I'm gonna want to get a live stream,
Absolutely.
game up there. Hopefully, can get you guys in one of the game of the weeks, man, and have it played all over the country so everybody could watch you guys. I think
You are
the
more
kids
than
over there are
welcome.
dynamic. You say what?
Anytime. You're welcome. Anytime.
Thank
Absolutely.
you, man. I appreciate you, Coach. I appreciate you guys. And we're getting ready to wrap it up here. YSC this show number 33. But before we get off, guys, I do want to address something right now. With what's going on out there, I hope all you young men and women are safe, handling yourselves out there with protesting and things like that. And I know people like to speak up loudly and do things outside of their gourd. I hope some of you kids that have futures are really thinking before you make those choices. Even though I know right now it's a very intense time, we want you guys to still stay safe out there in everything that you do. I also want to say rest in peace to Mr. George Floyd, you know, for just everything that has that has just transpired in our country. And I know his family is going through it right now, missing him and tragically losing him. Um, right now, guys, it's time for us to be able to speak up, and not just us, meaning black people, but everybody to speak up and speak your piece. Black lives do matter, and my Black Lives matters, and the Black lives of these young men matter. And it's very important that our people of other cultures uh, are able to check other people that they know in their cultures that may not feel the same way. It's time for everybody to learn, guys. Time for everybody to grow. Black Lives Matter. We like to thank Coach John for coming on and joining us. And hey, guys, this is YSC the show 33. Stay with it. Thank you, Coach.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, man.
No problem.